This is a basic model for the skeleton system of human body. You can see all the skull, pelvic girdle, and all this. So in human body, a child is born with 300 bones. An adult has around 206 bones. Many bones, combine and form. So all these 206 bones you can see here, and you can just take them out, and you have to find and you have to tell me the names of each of them. You can take out and you have to tell the names of each of them. What is this? Okay, you can take it out. You can just separate each of them and you have to name them. That is one. And then you have to also understand about the joints, because skeleton gives the structure to the body, but there are certain joints which helps the body move. It is essential for the body movement. Like if you see, this is a model for the of a human arm. So the human arm has top. In the top has here it is hinge joint, and here is ball and socket joint. This is actually like a ball, and this can rotate in all direction. You can see this can rotate in all direction. This is like where our, from the point where our hand starts in the shoulder. Okay, so this is ball and socket joint, and then this is a hinge joint. Hinge joint is like in the elbow. You can see it moves only to and fro. It's like a human body. You can see like when you open and close a door, also you can do this to and fro movement. So that is why it is called hinge. This is a hinge where it moves. That is the reason it's called hinge joint. This is a hinge joint. So you have to make all of you, and then you have to show me. And this is a pivot joint. This is end of our spinal cord where our head starts, and this is like our head rotates. It rotates in axis. You see, this is a backbone, and it rotates in axis like this. Like if you can see, you can rotate your head on top of the shoulder. This is a joint on which our head is placed, and our head rotates like this.
Okay.
So you have to, all of you have to make this pivot joint.
Okay. So the next one is there's this when you are considering the x-axis and y-axis, there are two types of x-axis and y-axis are there. Okay. So this one from origin to right hand side, okay, the positive x-axis.
The positive x-axis and positive y-axis, negative x-axis and negative y-axis.
Okay, so towards the opposite of the positive x-axis is the negative x-axis. Okay, and above this origin is the positive y-axis, and below the origin is the negative y-axis.
This is to study the shadow formation, how the shadow is formed. So when we focus with the torchlight to the object, you can see the shadow in one side. As we go further, we can see the shadow becomes longer. When we move to the another side, we will see the shadow going in the opposite side. You can see this happening. You can also see as we go further from the object, the shadow becomes longer. As we come near the object, the shadow becomes shorter. You can see how the shadow is becoming longer. It goes to the opposite side.
And do better? Alexander was not a stupid boy. He told his father he could handle Bucephalus without a problem. His father did not believe it and asked what Alexander was going to forfeit for his rashness should he fail to succeed. The boy looked at him squarely and said, "I shall pay the full price of the horse." Alexander had been watching Philip's men closely as they tried to work with Bucephalus, and he'd seen the animal scared of his own shadow. He grabbed the horse's bridle and turned him towards the sun. cleverly eliminating that irritating shadow problem. The boy was then able to ease onto the horse's back and take him for a ride. The horse was Alexander's from that day on. He named it Bucephalus, as head was as broad as a bull's, and it was his war horse, and he rode it in all his major battles. Bucephalus served Alexander faithfully, and died at last on campaign in India, where Alexander named a city in his honor.
Okay, so you guys have heard the story of Bucephalus, actually not Bucephalus, I pronounced it wrong. So of Alexander the Great and his horse. So let's answer this. The animal that was brought to Alexander's father was obviously
Black stallion.
a black stallion. Good, Abhishek. Yes, a black stallion. It was difficult to ride the horse because of its
Size and fierceness. Fierceness.
size and
Fierceness.
yes. Alexander expressed a desire to
Ride the horse.
yes. He realized that the animal was afraid of his
Shadow.
Now you can see the kind of veins on the leaves. It's called venation. Like water and foods is supplied through these veins on the leaves. So you see there is these veins are called parallel venation because you can see all the veins are parallel to each other. And this is called reticulate venation. Reticulate because there is a network of veins. So if you can see, lot of network of veins are there. This kind of parallel venation you can see in banana leaf, and this kind of reticulate venation you can see on mango leaf. You pick up a mango leaf from your orchard, you can see this kind of venation in those leaves. And this parallel venation and reticulate venation are present in both simple and compound. Like you can see, like these are like parallel venation in the compound leaf. This is a parallel venation in the compound leaf and reticulate venation in the compound leaf. So this like the network of leaflets are there, where venations are there. So this is in both in simple leaf and compound leaf you can find reticulate and parallel venation.
Are you listening? Okay. Okay, now what about this one? If I keep the 100 on this, then what is the fraction of this number?
1 by 10, ma'am.
1 by 100.
Yes, so 1 by
1 by
100.
100. Sorry.
Right? Because this represents 100. And I told you that to make it one whole, how many small cubes I need?
100.
Yes, I need 100 small cubes to make it one whole, right? But here only one is there, okay? Only one small cube is there. That means from 100, only one small cube is there. So that's why to represent it in a fraction, you need to write it down 1 by 100, okay? Now, if you want to write it on decimal number, 0 whole number, 0.010, right? We didn't have 10. Only 100 is there, so it's like this. So you need to write down decimal number in this way. Is that clear?
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
This is like to test components of food. You can do carbohydrate, protein, fat test with these. Okay. Okay, so we can start. You can start first with carbohydrate test. For carbohydrate, you take some starch, put it in this vessel, and put iodine, and you can see the change of color. You can also take some boiled potatoes or boiled rice and put some iodine. You can see the change of color. The amount of with that change of color, you can see. You can say that there is carbohydrate in those food items. Then in that same where you have put starch and iodine, put some vitamin C and see how the if you can put some vitamin C on that, you can see another the color will change further. So that means it has vitamin C. So you can do the vitamin C test Then you can take some milk powder here on this test tube, and you can test whether it has protein or not. Or this is how you can do carbohydrate, vitamin C, protein test. You start doing it, then I will come with other test, how to do fat test. This is a periscope, a miniature model of periscope. This is used in submarine. Like, it is placed on top of submarine to see what is outside. Like when you are traveling on a submarine, how can you see whatever is above the sea level? How can you see that? So we need something, some instrument which can help us to see what's happening outside or above the submarine. So we use periscope for that. So this periscope is like that. The mirror is set in angle. That angle of incidence fall and angle of reflection goes in the mirror here on the top. So and here, so from the angle, from here the angle of incidence falls and it's an angle of maybe 60-65 degree, and here angle of reflection goes into the another mirror, and so that we can see whatever is on above us. Like if we see here, we can see whatever this mirror can see. So this can be even longer. It can be in many meters. So from lower level, we can see whatever is going on in the higher level. This is what happens when it is used in submarine. This is a model to show Venus flytrap. It's a carnivorous plant. Like you see, it can catch insects. It's insectivorous because it can eat insects. These plants are carnivorous. So these plants don't eat animals. But this plant called Venus flytrap, it can eat insects.
Okay.
It's called insectivorous. Like you see, once the insects come, it traps it like this. So it's called Venus flytrap.